If there's one thing I've learned in the past few months trying to grow on YouTube, it's that certain videos get likes, views, and attention, and others, well, they don't. And one of the videos that I see that gets more likes and more views than almost anything else is the gaming is getting worse take. And you see, as much as I wish that I could think the same way and make videos that would get lots of likes and lots of admiration in the gaming community about how gaming has gotten worse, I truly don't believe that. I not only think that gaming is in one of the best states it's ever been in, but I think it's only about to get much better. And while there are certain things in the industry right now, like aggressive microtransactions, predatory tactics, and certain developers not putting forth the effort they should, overall, the future of gaming looks so bright. And I want to talk with you guys today about why I think the decline of gaming has been greatly exaggerated, and that the new generation of consoles and new technological advancements coming with them are about to change everything. Also, before we get started, if you guys enjoy gaming commentary like this on the future of gaming and certain hardware, or just general tips about streaming and really working towards a goal, then feel free to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to absolutely discombobulate that like button. And well, go check me out on twitch.tv/FranklyGaming if you want to talk to me about topics like this live. I love seeing you guys there from the YouTube. It really makes my day, having someone come over from, the YouTube channel that I'm making to help grow over on Twitch. So thank you guys so much for coming out. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is something that's been a hot topic in gaming for the last few years, and that's microtransactions. Because I think the negative impact that microtransactions have had on the gaming industry has been a little over-exaggerated. And overall, I think microtransactions provide a lot of benefits that people either choose not to look at or refuse to look at. For instance, a lot of the problem that people have with microtransactions is just the greedy nature of them. The idea of a company or publisher like EA grasping to get all of the money out of you that they can by providing super expensive skins and really new modules to a game can really be detrimental, especially to those with a gambling-like mentality. And even worse so is games that actually provide microtransactions that give you an unfair advantage over others. We see this especially in a lot of games coming out of the Asia region, where it seems to be more acceptable in society, but in the West, it's super frowned upon. And this has resulted in a really sour taste in a lot of people's mouths when they think of microtransactions in association with video games, as most of the things we've seen have been very predatory and very bad overall. But what people don't think about is all the benefits that microtransactions provide too. The idea of a publisher being able to make a good amount of money off of a game and really work on it as a service continually isn't bad in and of itself. Think about games like Destiny 2, Rainbow Six Siege. These games could have died if it wasn't for the microtransaction base of players that were supporting them. And they have grown to thrive and have big, awesome communities that might not have otherwise been there. There's no problem inherently with a developer charging you money for just cosmetic skins, things that make the game look cooler, or make you look cooler, or make you enjoy the game more when you're playing. At the end of the day, it's just a decision the consumer has to make. As long as it isn't drastically affecting gameplay or giving you an unfair advantage over others, there's no problem with, say, Valorant developers charging $100 to buy a dragon skin. Sure, it's predatory, and sure, it's going to result in certain people buying a skin when they really shouldn't. Maybe they're having financial issues, etc. But on the flip side, isn't it great that we are giving developers freedom to make a large sum of money after a game has released? And even more than that, maybe they don't even have to charge for the game itself because of it. Think of games like Valorant, like Dota, like CSGO. These games are completely free. All of the revenue that the developers get is just from people buying skins. And how is that not a great thing? I don't see a lot of people talking about this. It's amazing that we now live in a world where everyone has a chance to play a game as long as you have the hardware to do it for a lot of new games coming out because they're completely free. Think of Ubisoft's new Hyperscape release. The game is completely free and you can buy skins if you choose, or you can never spend a dime and get the exact same gameplay experience as everyone else. And that truly is beautiful. And while microtransactions do have a bad rep, as we've talked about, and there are certainly a multitude of cases where there have been predatory tactics and scummy things have happened, overall, the idea of giving developers the freedom to release a game for completely free, especially indie studios, that way they can get more traction on a game where you don't have to spend money on it, is really cool. And I think what a lot of people miss is it's not that microtransactions themselves are bad. It's just that there's been a lot of bad implementations. The most egregious thing I see for microtransactions is when developers change how they are making a game to tailor make it for an experience that involves people paying to play for more skins and things like that. That's a problem, and I think that's undeniable. There are definitely studios out there doing that. But microtransactions don't force that. There's simply a choice a developer can make. There's nothing wrong with making a $60 game with no microtransactions nowadays. But you have the option to instead make a free game where you could potentially make even more just off the skins you sell, and employing more artists for a longer time working on the game. There are definitely downsides, but people tend to not look at all at the upsides. And I think there are so many that are glaring and will only get better in the future, hopefully, that I think microtransactions overall actually help the industry be more flourishing and just more open. A good example of this is look at all the new AAA studios taking risks on games they're truly passionate about and new IPs that they'd love to try. I'm talking about Cyberpunk 2077, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn, Sea of Thieves. These are all games that on paper aren't going to make as much as a new Call of Duty or a big AAA shooter. But the industry's expanded. It's gone mainstream with the advent of games like Fortnite, and more nerdy gamers are just everyday people in society that want to play interesting and new games that don't just hit the cliches that we all grew up with. If anything, gaming's gotten more vibrant and expansive than ever, and for some reason people tend to argue the opposite. But all you have to do is look at all of these games coming from AAA studios, potentially a new Fable, new types of games in similar franchises like Halo, and you see that the industry's being mixed up in ways we haven't seen in a very long time. And that's awesome to see. And on top of this, now with there being big famous streamers and YouTubers that cover multiple different games for a living, there's lots of indie studios that can now have a claim to fame just by putting out a quality game that a content creator falls in love with. This is the kind of society and ecosystem that you would love to see gaming in, that it's now finally getting to, because it allows smaller developers, unknown developers, to reach the heights of the greats. Just like Mojang and Minecraft, there's so many other studios out there that have gold mines on their hands that would have never been discovered in the days of old. But now, with so much social media and really just attention from different trusted sources and individuals on YouTube and Twitch and the like, it's now easier than ever for developers to get their game's name out there and show the world what a good game is. A good example of this is I recently found a game called Deep Rock Galactic when I was watching a Twitch stream, and it looked really fun. I got it on stream, I played it for a couple of weeks with all of my viewers, and it was really fun. And I never would have found that game otherwise. I didn't see it anywhere else, and just stumbling upon things like that is now easier than ever, and it helps the ecosystem grow because games that are a little more out there now have as good a chance as ever. But it's not just the ease of marketing that has made gaming better overall, it's actually also just raw technological improvements. There are so many exciting technologies coming down the pipeline of gaming that it's almost hard to even talk about it in this video, as it could be its own video in and of itself. But good examples are NVIDIA DLSS 2.0, a service and technology that allows PC gamers, and hopefully in the future console and people on phone or tablets as well, to play games at high fidelities and high frame rates while not taxing your system nearly as much. This gives developers a lot more leeway to focus on what matters most to them in games: the stories, the characters, the gameplay. And it's only becoming easier year by year to make games. And I can attest to this personally as someone that in their free times has made a few games here and there. It's easier now than it ever has been to develop in Unity, in the Unreal Engine, and to make a game on your own or with a small group of others. And that's great for the industry. It means more people can focus on exactly what matters about games: the heart, instead of marketing and worrying about technology and spending all your money on things that are really frivolous compared to what people actually care about. And that's great. And more than any of this, more than the fact that developers can more easily market their games or don't have to worry about technology and budget as much, or even more than the fact that AAA developers are more focused on less cookie cutter games and more genuinely interesting experiences, more than all of that, one of the biggest advancements that we are at the dawn of for gaming, and something that will radically change gaming forever for the better, is the idea of how we are moving to a more universal platform and ecosystem. Take a look at Xbox. They're currently positioning themselves to have an Xbox basically multitude of services that allow users to play online for free, get access to multiple games per month for a low cost, play with friends across multiple platforms, including tablet, console, PC, and, if the rumors are correct, potentially Switch as well. The ecosystem of gaming is closing in. Even with companies like Sony and Nintendo that have definitely been closed off in their past, they're opening up. Lots of new Sony games are starting to come to the PC. And really, the entire ecosystem is starting to combine. We are now in a situation where some of the biggest games in the world, like Fortnite, Call of Duty Warzone, can be played on any platform and with your friends through crossplay at the same time. When I grew up, the only way to truly experience playing with your friends was split screen, and that was great. But nowadays, you don't even have to be in the same room or have the same console. You can be playing with someone on an Xbox while on your PlayStation in certain games. You can be a PC gamer like myself that had trouble gaming with a lot of my friends from high school because they all still game on console. And now I can finally get back to just having fun with them, playing on the machine I want to play on while they're playing on the machine they want to play on. The idea of gaming moving to a more universal ecosystem is so exciting. And with services like xCloud coming from Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, the idea of these services where you can get free games every month and play your games in the cloud on any device with save states across all of them is so damn cool. And people aren't talking about this enough. It's amazing how far technology has come and the things we are literally at the precipice of seeing. Gaming is about to change so much. We've already seen a little bit with failures like Stadia, but we are moving towards a world where gaming has been more connected than ever. There's certain games now that integrate with Twitch streams, and you can talk to your favorite streamers and interact with them in the game, not just in chat. And I think experiences are more and more often going to be coming out like that. And how is that not a great thing? The idea that developers are going to have more avenues to really reach their audience to and speak to them through the world of gaming. And on top of that, really just the whole ecosystem. It's never been easier to develop games. There's never been so many big and small studios doing their passions and getting paid to do it because they have things like microtransactions they can utilize to create free games and publicity, as well as publishers backing them that actually are interested in new ideas because gaming has gone mainstream. And technologies are rising left and right that will change how we play gaming forever. I know everyone likes to say that gaming isn't what it used to be. People like to make 30-long-minute videos and rants about why, when they were young playing games, it was better than today. But truly, in my heart, as someone that does have nostalgia for when I grew up playing StarCraft, Age of Mythology, Halo 2, Call of Duty 4, I loved those years. And gaming was great back then. But it's also great right now. And while Fortnite may have a more heavier focus on microtransactions, and it might be a little crazier than you remember back when you were a kid, there are so many great experiences out there, and so many good things happening in gaming, and I think it's never been as exciting to be a part of the industry. And these coming years will hopefully prove that. You know, it's easy to say that gaming's getting worse, that things aren't like they used to be, and that we're a worse industry for it. It's easy to sit back and complain and to argue that EA, Activision, and other big publishers are evil and that everything's getting worse. But at the end of the day, I think when we truly look at the industry and its leaders, and even indie studios alike, we see a growing and flourishing industry that has so many exciting things on the horizon that gamers will likely love, no matter how much they don't want to tell you about it. And whether it's our nostalgia or our genuine interest in how games used to be made and played, overall, the decline of gaming has been greatly exaggerated. And I think more now than ever, it's time that we realize why we fell in love with this industry in the first place and why it still has so much to offer. And hopefully you guys either agreed with me or found this pretty interesting to hear as kind of different opinion than most of the ones you're going to hear on YouTube or Reddit or other forums like that. And overall, I really appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you so much for watching. Honestly, leave a comment down below on your thoughts about gaming. Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Do you agree with me or not? And, make sure to go check me out on my Twitch if you want to talk with me live about this as well. Like I said, I love seeing you guys there. But I really appreciate you all coming out. Thank you so much. I will see you all on the next one. Are you actually kidding me? Guys, we literally have a stream of absolute studs and lady studs, and literally only one of you could complete the map. I'm so disappointed, man. Dude, this must be what my parents feel like when they had me.